Thank you for watching Scary Bear Attacks. If you like this episode, please remember to hit the like button and leave a comment or two, then subscribe and click on the bell to receive notifications of whenever we release new videos. Also, please remember to share them to your social media.
Welcome back to Scary Bear Attacks. Today's episode takes us back to the area around Island Park, to an unincorporated town called Last Chance in Fremont County, Idaho. This area is high elevation, around 6,200 feet above sea level, and basks in 3 times the annual rainfall of surrounding altitudes. The Island Park caldera pushed this area to higher elevations, and during one of its eruptions, spewed ash that covered the land from the Mississippi River to Southern California. It is one of the world's largest volcanoes, and is the source of the geysers and geothermal wonders. The elk, deer, and moose navigate the hot springs and mud pots, oblivious to the risks. Predators such as bobcats, black bears, coyotes, cougars, and grizzly bears patrol the land, limiting populations and keeping them healthy. The dense stands of lodgepole pine and Douglas fir provide shelter in snowy weather, while quaking aspens, black locusts, and a few species of maple trees provide fall color and beauty. The many ponds and springs of the area provide water and places for berry bushes to grow. A few miles south of Island Park is where Last Chance is seated. It is the kind of insular town that if you blink as you drive down the highway, you might miss it. It is called Last Chance because it's 40 miles from West Yellowstone and the entrance to Yellowstone National Park. On the evening of June 6, 2024, a couple whom we'll refer to as Phil and Julie were pulling up to their home with a new batch of groceries. They had the usual staples of bread and butter, but one of the unusual items in their grocery haul was a shotgun. Phil had brought it along apparently on a hunch, and one thing you shouldn't do is ignore your gut when it comes to grizzlies. As Phil was loading his arms with groceries, he headed toward the front door when he heard Julie scream out. His head snapped to the end of the driveway, and he took in the dark outline of a grizzly bear just as it began stepping toward Julie. Knowing he didn't have much time to react, Phil dropped the groceries and scrambled for the shotgun in the back of the vehicle. Now, Phil and Julie were no greenhorns when it came to grizzlies. The entire community has formed a series of social media sites to help visitors and residents keep in mind that they live in bear country. The local ranger station gives out bear spray in an attempt to be proactive in preventing bear attacks, and the locals support educational events to learn about how to avoid them. The area residents work hard to form a realistic balance between living with the bears while insisting they are safe from the bears who cross the line. As Phil lifted the shotgun to his shoulder, the grizzly closed in on Julie. With only a few yards separating the bear and Julie, Phil fired a single shot that shuddered the bear. The round had a deterring effect on the grizzly, and it veered off. The bear disappeared into the forest surrounding the property, leaving the couple shaken but uninjured. Now having dealt with the threat from the charging grizzly, Julie and Phil finished unloading their vehicle while keeping a wary eye out for the bear. There is no source indicating whether they reported the incident to wildlife officers or not, but given the bear had fled, they may not have reported it without knowing the outcome. The following day, the Idaho Fish and Game received a phone call from a concerned citizen. They called in to report a dead grizzly lying by the road and requested the officers investigate. An investigative team converged on the location of the dead grizzly and examined its carcass. Based on the entry wound, they could tell the shot was fired in self-defense. Word got around regarding the grizzly's aggressive behavior toward Julie and Phil. After a review of the events, the officers decided that Phil's actions were justified, and he was not cited for any violation about the bear's death. The bear's carcass did reveal a few important details the investigators utilized. It was found to be an otherwise healthy young male grizzly. There was no animal carcass cached nearby, and the bear was not acting in defense of itself or cubs. Speaking of cubs, our Cub Tier membership on Patreon, linked below, will give you ad-free early access to our episodes, and the $3 per month goes a long way in helping me continue to produce educational and entertaining content like this. In prior episodes, we've discussed that male bears, particularly young male bears, are more likely to attack humans than sows or females. The yearling male involved in this attack may have been driven from more competitive territories and was searching for a territory of his own. As populations increase and sows with cubs crowd closer to human development, young males may create many problems as they cannot defend optimal territory and may not be accepted near a sow with new cubs, regardless of food supply. Over the last year, there have been 3 other incidents in Idaho where grizzlies were killed by people defending their lives, all of which are episodes on this channel. All 3 incidents occurred near Island Park, indicating that grizzlies there demonstrate a more aggressive attitude toward people than in nearby areas. After reviewing the facts surrounding this episode, I'm left with a few questions for you. Do you think bear spray would have prevented this attack, or was this young male grizzly already headed for a disastrous outcome? Was the grizzly curious, or was it behaving in a predatory manner? Is the loss of a grizzly a significant concern, or have grizzlies recovered enough to accept the death of individuals in these types of circumstances? I'll gladly read and reply to your thoughts, so please post them in the comments section below, and let's talk about it.
Thank you for watching Scary Bear Attacks. If you've enjoyed this episode, please consider clicking on the like button and clicking on the bell icon. We'll help you know when we post our new episodes. Posting our video links to your social media profiles furthers awareness, and it's fun. We slashed our prices in our merch store, linked below, so check out the bargains there while you shop. As a member of our human community, remember to adventure bravely and be careful out there, especially in bear country.